Oh, jeez. Right as I pushed record, I fell. Anyway, I'm working on the Gizmo for my Ghostbusters, my GB1 Proton Pack Hero Suit that I'm doing. I found this really great PDF file online that you were able to print out the circuit board. It actually gives you enough to make two. I printed it on sticker paper, then stuck it to a sheet of 030 styrene. It comes with all the stickers for all the little parts. I already made all these little chips. I stuck them on the I took the sticker paper, stuck it on the plastic. I then cut them out, and then I went around the edge with a Sharpie just to make them black along the edge, and I went ahead and glued them down. This is actually, you can see these ones aren't glued yet. I just laid them in place, but I made this 2 layers thick. You can see the back side's dirty. I'm going to paint it green and green along the sides, but I just made it double thick to give it some dimension. You can see this guy's going just a little bit crooked. The glue hasn't dried on those ones yet, but so basically I'm going to stick all these on here and glue them down. But before I glue these, I'm either going to take some copper wire or some fishing line that's painted gold, and I'm going to go over each one of these. Not sure how it's going to work out, what the easiest way is going to be. I'm going to try to think of a solution, but I'm going to just go all the way across, make a bunch of lines going across, then glue the white chip on top of it, like so. That way it'll give it some dimension. It'll be raised off it a little bit. Then I'm going to do the red wires that come over here. As you can see on my screen here, there's another chip on top of that chip, and then if you look in the bottom right corner there's a couple of red wires. Actually all along the side there's some red wires, so I'm going to put those red wires, have them go on top of the white chip, which is this one. Then I'll put the black chip on top of that, and hopefully it'll look good. We'll have to see, I guess. I'm thinking I'm going to use this solder and go across through the lines. I'm not going to melt it, I'm just going to cut it and glue it down and then go over it with gold. Alright, after cutting like 8 of these pieces out of solder, I realized A, I'm probably not going to have enough solder, and B, it's going to take forever. There's 18 for each one. There's 4 altogether. That's like 68, something like that. I decided to try it with these pins instead. I'm thinking I might cut the head off the pin and stick it on there, see if that works. So we're going to try that. Well, it took forever, but I got all 18 or 19, whatever it is. I didn't count, but I got them all cut the heads off, and I cut the points off of all these pins, and it looks pretty good, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough pins. But they're cheap enough, I can buy more. So now I'm going to glue this chip on here and see what happens. Ta-da! Not too shabby. Looks pretty good. So now I'm going to take this dart, heat up the tip, and poke holes where these solder marks are, so I can take some of this red wire and do those red wires. Alright, so as you see, not only are these 4 chips done, I went ahead and poked the holes, I ran the wire, I glued them, and I added this piece right here. I gotta touch up that little corner there, but other than that, it's looking pretty good. There we go. Ta-da! Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I wish it was a little more green, but my printer isn't really that great. What I should have did was went over this with a yellow highlighter. That would have really made it very green, and it would have looked so much better, but yeah, what can you do? I've got enough stuff to make another one, so I might just do that. Although, I'm not sure that I have enough pins. I should, but I have more. Oh, phone's ringing. But, yep, there it is. Alright, so, I don't know if I showed I added these 2 right here. Could have did that earlier, but I don't know why I just did it now. Anyway, I'm adding the stuff up here that goes underneath all the Nixie tubes, and basically just using foam board. If you look there, it's actually 2 layers stacked, and then this is just a piece sideways. And I'm not going to put the sticker on top because most of this isn't even really visible. It's just barely visible at just the right angle. But anyway, for the little capacitors and stuff, I'm just going to stick a drinking straw on there after I paint it black, and then probably put some casting resin inside to fill it. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out, but that's it. Alright, so I've done a lot. I had a stroke of genius. I thought to myself, why am I trying to make little tiny resistors and capacitors when I had this old TV VCR combo in the garage, and I just cracked it open and started pulling resistors off the board and just sticking them on here. I mean, it's not exactly screen accurate as far as the coloring goes, but it is as far as the placement of everything. So I went ahead and I took a piece of foam board and painted it blue and glued it on here to make it look like the chip that's on the actual piece. I took some styrene and made these little brackets on the ends here, but it's coming along. I'm still not sure if I'm going to buy Nixie tubes or if I'm going to try to make them. We'll just have to see. But there she is. Oh, I'm also going to get a gold pen and do these tabs in gold so they look more real. But, yep. Alright, sorry you guys can hear my dryer going in the background, but I gotta do my laundry. Well, anyway, still sick, of course, but I made the base for the Nixies. I gotta put the rubber grommets in. And then I also took a chip that was attached to a large heatsink, and I removed the large heatsink, and I took some polycand foil tape, and I covered a piece of plastic. I cut it out to this shape based off this picture here, and then I glued it to that chip that I pulled off the board of this old TV VCR combo, and then I went around the edges with some testers, aluminum, silver, so it looks all uniform. But that piece, I'm really proud of. It looks really good. It gives it like a lot of realistic quality. So anyway, that's just what I have so far. I know it looks a little sloppy, but it'll get better. Alright, so this is what I got so far. I took a little black plastic box that was in that TV. It was some sort of relay, and I cut it down. I capped it off and then cut the square. This is for, I call it the error box. I don't know what anybody else calls it, but I ran a couple of red wires from it down to the motherboard. I'm thinking I might do a couple more coming out the side. It might look more realistic. I'm not sure yet, but either way, I also got, you're probably noticing it's green now, like it's supposed to be. It's not purple anymore. I bought some highlighters. I did the stickers on these chips in yellow, and I went over the whole board in yellow with the highlighter, so it's now green as opposed to purple, and it's coming along. It's looking pretty good. I'm thinking about changing this out with like something that's more screen accurate. It's supposed to be a fuse that goes right there. I thought that part looked really cool and it fit perfect, but I might change that. Either way, that's what we got so far. I'm about to take my gold pen I just got and go over these tabs. If you can't tell, I've been pretty hard at work. I've been tearing apart old TV. Oh, I got the hiccups. Old TVs and all kinds of stuff, but I'm working on not one, but two gizmos. Belt gizmos for my Ghostbuster costume. Oh, these hiccups are going to drive me nuts. I started with this one. And I finished it for the most part, other than the Nixie tube. Oh my gosh. Other than the Nixie tubes and the ceramic capacitors is the only thing missing. But the reason I started a second one was because I'm doing a, what do you want, kitty cat? I'm doing a Peter Venkman costume, and he has this style of 808D, is I believe the model number. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it's the same sticker as I did this one. I print the sticker, I stick it on a board. My printer, for some reason the yellow doesn't work on my printer, so I went over it with a highlighter. It was purple when it came out the printer, but when I went over it with the highlighter, it turned in a beautiful shade of green. Oh my gosh, it's driving me nuts. But anyway, so I did this one, but I started another one. I made these on foam board because they raises them up a little bit higher. On this one they're all flat. On this one there's 6. This one only has 4, and it has all these capacitors with wire. Oh, come on, Luna. Come on. Let's go in the house. Come. Oh. Yeah, it's a disaster zone back here. This is how I've been working. So, yep. So, the footage you just saw is about 9 months old. With the messy office and all that. This is my office now. Again, with the dryer. Things never change, I guess, but this is my office now. Significantly different. It's actually in a garage. In my sister's garage. I'm in a transitional period. So, anyway, here's the Gizmo. As you see, it has the ceramic capacitors added. These are 221 UFs or whatever they call it. I don't know. I do circuitry, but I'm kind of a novice, so forgive me. So I went to the dollar store. I bought 2 packages of ink pens. Came with 4 each. They were $1 each. They were really short pens, like that long. But I cut them, and I used it. This was the top end of the ink pen, not the end that write with, but the other end. And this was the cut end. I took a bunch of colored paper clips as well as colored wire. So these are rock hard. These are actually the end ones have more paper clips in them because it makes them stiffer and I don't have to worry about them breaking loose. But the inside ones are mostly wire with a couple paper clips in each one, colored paper clips, which I still have all this time later. I still have the colored paper clips. So that's pretty much it. I just wrapped the ends in electrical tape and stuffed it in there. And then I had some rubber tubing for my fish tank, that air tubing. I cut it into little rings, super glued them on here and painted it black. And just kind of called that a day. It looks pretty good. It's not the best Gizmo, but it's a good Gizmo. I still have the other one that I was working on in that video from 9 months ago in this drawer, I believe. Yes, there it is. As you can see, it hasn't done anything with it. But as you can see here, I have the proper Norelco shaver cord. And remember that circuit board from that TV VCR combo? Well, I cut a square out of it with the bandsaw, and I just added a few more resistors and things, and I added these alligator clips. They're not the right kind, but they look good enough. And of course an orange wire nut. The circuit board had these 2 LEDs, which I tried to tie into, but I didn't put the right size resistor and I burned them out. So unfortunately I can't hook those up. I want to, but I can't. So if you're wondering what the plans are for this other belt Gizmo, I actually ordered real deal Nixie tubes. The Nixie tubes will be, whoops, how did I zoom? Nah, I mean to zoom. Nixie tubes are going to be coming from Russia. I ordered them yesterday. I'm going to make it say overheat, and it's going to flash overheat. And it's going to be wicked awesome. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be wicked cool. What I did was I used this and sheet plastic, and I did a layer of, I sandwiched these together with the sheet plastic in between to make like a stiffer, real stiff piece. It looks like stiff leather, a solid thick piece of leather, but it's not. It's just 2 pieces of optical leather, or pleather, whatever you want to call it, and a piece of plastic in between. And then I just use regular pop rivets On the top ones, I put washers behind them so that they would grip better. I don't want it falling apart in the bottom. I just went ahead and just popped the rivets in there. They're just decorative. I got the button snap in there, and I cut it out with a razor blade. Pretty simple. You can get this material in black, but I didn't want to spend the money. All I had was brown, so I used brown and I sprayed it black with the Duplicolor, and that stuff works fantastic. I love it for this kind of thing. So that's how I made that. And it basically is pretty simple. You just put the daughter board through here. Slide this through there. There we go. I have a screw that can retain it and hold it in place, but I don't use it because I don't really need it. That's my Gizmo.